Baby,
Hi.
you know what time it is.
I think I do.
It's Studio Johnny Q time.
I was right.
That means it is time to drop your nerd drawers, baby.
Alright.
I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm sure it's sexy.
I'm sure it is sexy as well. Thank you for that, Smoothie. Hail and well met, fellow time travelers. Johnny Q here in Studio Johnny Q once more. Randy, it's time for our theme song. It's time again for Studio Johnny Q, where we are going to figure out what nerd stuff we're going to do. Where I can be me and you can be you, because that's how we do. Oh yes, that's how we do here at the Q. Alright. There, thank you.
Hello.
Welcome to Addition Through Distraction. This is where Randy joins me on the Tuesdays and the Thursdays at noon time. We're glad to have everybody.
What's up, people?
Is here live and who will be joining us. All right, so we have on our screen
Your hair's
here.
rocking, JB.
Hey, you like that?
Yeah.
What little I have left of it, it's the hairline is slipping every day. Well, you know you know what I'm talking about. Man, a certain age. So let's take a look here, Randy. These were where we left off on our magic effects. Oh, which reminds me, I need to very quickly. And I had that 5 minutes, and it was just like, oh, I don't have anything to do. And yeah, I did. I was supposed to post a picture on Instagram. But I was going to say, I have a before and after of this for Instagram, which we will post here. While we're doing that, Randy, how are you doing this fine day? So that you're
sleepy. I have not slept yet. I managed to get some sleep yesterday, just from randomly falling asleep and waking up. So I have not slept yet last night or this morning.
Yeah, we had a similar sort of thing where it was a potential medical situation late last night, and I think everything's okay. But
everybody okay?
Yeah, I think so. But It's one of those things like, well, you're up now. It's like, why does these things always happen like at 4 a.m.? So like now you're up,
Mm.
and then start to fall asleep about 7 or something like that. All right, sorry for this.
I had to take my mom to the emergency room the other day. I forgot to tell you.
Oof.
To reduce, normally I would go in with her, but to reduce exposure for the corona, I was able to wait in the car this time. So,
Nice.
but for some reason, she was not able to call out or text out. She could receive, but I had no idea. So I was like, she nobody lets me know what's going on, and it's been a couple hours. I'm like, so we're gonna check, and then finally I got a response from her. But her neck was swollen up all of a sudden, like really bad, out of nowhere.
Wow.
Like huge on the side of her neck, like underneath her jaw, and she was worried that maybe it was like an abscess tooth or something because she has a dental implant, but it ended up being like an infection of the salivary gland.
Oh, really?
I guess it's fairly common. Yeah.
Huh. So infection to the salivary gland caused her neck to swell up?
Yeah. It's like beneath the side of her neck, beneath her jaw. So the side of her neck, beneath her jaw.
Man, that sounds
swell up
painful.
really big. Yeah. I guess abscesses do the same thing. That's what it was the closest match we found when we were looking online beforehand. They'll wake up, they'll be sleeping, and they'll wake up, and their face will be like horribly disfigured, and it's swelling from an abscessed tooth or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, teeth are no joke, right? There's a reason when you see torture movies that it's always they're going after teeth.
Mm. Yeah.
It's just like, oof, yeah. Yeah, well, Randy, I had to get airlifted to a special clinic because I had to give birth. I feel like I felt like we were one upping each other. So
I'm not trying to.
No, I know.
I just meant to tell you, and I forgot. No. That reminded me.
But they found out I can't give birth, and
so the baby's finally coming.
Yeah. Where's the fetus going to gestate? In the box?
It's been a long time coming.
Yes. Yeah, the man child. The man baby. All right, effects. All right. Hold on 1 second. I need to.
There's an episode of
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
Well, of course, more about having a baby, kind of, but the now malaligned Cosby on the Cosby Show. I think he and his son on the show had was it Theo had a nightmare dream where they were giving birth.
Yeah, because I remember.
And they ended up like giving birth to like a huge like party-sized sub sandwich and a 2-liter
and a 2-liter. Yeah, a 2-liter of orange soda. Because at that stage of the show, he wasn't allowed to eat salty foods. Claire was always keeping him away from salty foods because of his heart.
Yeah. What's up, Tater?
Hey.
I thought you said twerking. You were twerking, Nicholas.
Nice. Sweet. Nice. How did you find messing around with Beyond 20? Almost finished here. Adding all my hashtags. Sorry for that. But timeliness is important on your on your Instagram post. So you can see the before picture of these very guys right here. Yep. So you can see what we started with was definitely more bland. It's hard to sometimes, you remember, it's like, well, this isn't what they looked like the whole time. The answer to that was no, they did not look like this the whole time. We actually put a lot of work on these. So pretty pleased with the way that they came out, and the last little pieces of adjustments that we made on this guy here. We did some highlighting on yeah, so yeah, you liked it. That's how you could flip over and read the whole chapter in the D&D book. Yeah. Yep, our next session is Wednesday, so that's what we're trying to figure out. Today we're going to be working on some pieces that will be part of the next board. And
Wednesday
no worries.
Is tomorrow, by the way.
What's that? Yeah, tomorrow.
Wednesday is tomorrow, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, I am totally. It's totally weird. It's good that I'm actually talking to you because that'll help me root into today is Tuesday. We did that. We did our added some purple to this. Pleased with the way that this came out.
Trippy.
And a lot of opalescents that don't show up as well, but anything that's reflective isn't metal, it's more opalescent, so that works nice on these pieces.
Netflix has so the psychedelic factor there made me think reminded me that I've been meaning to ask you that. Netflix has a show where different stars are talking about their experiences with psychotropics.
I think I saw on YouTube one of those or something about that. That's interesting.
Sting has an interesting story about how he was tripping on mushrooms and his gardener or something like that. I guess he has a ranch or something like that. And the guy was telling him that he needed help with the cow that was giving birth or something. And he's like, I'm kind of busy. He's like, no, I need you now. Like, so I'm going to make it if you don't come and do this thing right now. So he was like tripping balls progressively, getting worse and worse, and on mushrooms, and while having to try to deliver a cow for the first time. Yeah, it was crazy story.
That'd be so. You're like, I wonder what I'm doing in real life because I know I'm not delivering a cow. Some different lining scenarios here, but
what spell is that?
This is the Cloud of
These
Dagger.
are from the spell pack, right? So the spell effect pack or whatever.
Yeah, and
each of them is supposed to represent one particular.
Yeah, exactly. Let's the pack here. Let's see if I can do the ceiling cam. Let's put ourselves here in something that's a little bit more.
I almost think we've been laughing about the dancing lights one because we think it's a bit ridiculous. I think it should be the carnival spunk one instead, maybe.
Ooh, that's
You might have to change that.
I like that. Maybe Carnival Spunk is the father of dancing lights. That's how they did it. What up, Boomer? Yeah. So you can see here just from the back of the box. It's like we definitely upgraded these to some effect. One, just darkening the bases so that they really gets the piece to separate. So you can see here. That really helps. And then pretty much all of these stands, if you take a look here, all of those were pretty much clear. If we take a look here at the picture on the box. So, yeah. Spell effects, Arcane Fury, and Divine Might. So yeah, these all do represent actual spells. And this one is called Cloud of Daggers, which is pretty badass. Somebody needs to get this. Sorry. So it's like Sharknado.
What's the 4/11?
It's like you've heard of Sharknado. This is Shanknado. Same thing, only just one word difference, right? So yeah, actually taking that. All right.
That is crazy.
And then the also, yeah, here's the dancing lights, which is your favorite. And then we've got, I think it's Bigby's hand or Bigsby's hand. The great hand of Bigsby.
Right now, the way the picture is, the figure in the middle is kind of blurry. It looked like Groot while he was young Groot dancing.
This one here, right there.
The yellow one right in the center.
This one?
Your finger is not really in frame. Yeah, that one.
That's a hammer. That's funny. Groot smash. But yeah, these hands, these definitely got a nice upgrade. They got a lot of shimmer to them, and the dry brushing really pulls out a lot of detail.
That red one makes me think of the Hand of Glory. And I just, there was an episode of QI that mentioned the Hand of Glory. So there was only like one reported incident of somebody actually trying to use one.
The Hand of Glory is... You're going to have to help me out. What's a Hand of Glory?
Not a sexual... I think that's what people thought last. It's not a sexual term. It has to do with magical.
You know what a glory hole is.
That people believed in real life, and it was like there's different variations of it, I think. But
is it like a mojo hand, a monkey paw?
That's pretty much the same thing. Well, I can't remember exactly what was going on with the monkey paw. I remember that story, but I can't remember the exact details of exactly how it played out, what its powers were supposed to be. No, I think it's different. It was just kind of the monkey paw was just kind of a cursed thing, right? Like the Hand of Glory is actually, they actually had it in Harry Potter, but for some reason in the movie, I think they switched it to the Peruvian darkness powder instead.
Okay.
So basically, when you have the hand lit, you're supposed to be able to like sneak in and steal stuff, and whoever's home that you're breaking into will just stay asleep, or they at least won't be able to see you at all. But it's supposed to be like the hand of a murdered or hung thief or murderer. I don't remember exactly. And then there's different things like if you dip that in their boiled fat or something, and basically you're just making a candle out of their hand and their fat.
You're deep frying them.
Something, I don't know.
Hand of Glory, yeah, you used to be able to get that at Sister's Chicken, right?
But I can't remember exactly what they were talking about on QI about it, and I think they were saying that there was one reported case of somebody actually trying to use one, and they were just like, yeah, I see you. I don't know. What are you doing in my house?
Nuh-uh, I got my Hand of Glory. That is. You know, I love stuff like that. All right, moving some of these pieces off. So moving to our titular movement, Randy wanted to talk about upgrading this wagon. I think this is going to come into play in the next session. So I thought, if nothing else, I want to give it a roof and see about putting some wheels on this. So got this, and then
So Wagon?
yeah,
Is that remake?
yep.
Cool.
So our titular moment is the wagon that we're dragging. Usually we're talking about the dragon that we're wagging, but in this case it is an actual wagon. So I have a couple of pieces that in the beadwork that I'd gotten between Michael's and Carrie's mom. I've accumulated more than a couple of pieces of neat stuff, but I don't know how I got these in here at all. Huh.
Oh, I have a fun element to add to that you might want to add to your D&D sessions, and I won't talk about it here
Okay.
to keep from spoiling the surprise for it. But I think you might want to incorporate it.
Nice. I'll be fascinated to hear. Cool. Oof. Right, one of the spaces was larger than the other. Luckily, I was able to recognize that. So I was thinking about using these for one set of the wheels. Is this going to be kind of like a gypsy wagon, Randy?
Nice. Ooh, those are special.
Yeah,
Those are
so
cool.
I actually had kept those with the piece. So yay me. I always love when past me helps out future me. It's like, ah, it's like giving a hug to yourself.
Those are nice. Those are nice elements. You could do a lot of different things with those, like architectural elements and things. It would be really cool.
Yeah, I think I picked these up at Michael's, and when I was you just looking through beads and stuff, and it's like, I don't know what this is, but I think I could use this for something, and then you have a couple tubs, and I find that super helpful. It's like you start with a rough idea, and then
pour
you
some resin in there.
ooh, yeah. Yeah, you could definitely make this as a mount, a base for like a crystal or something, or some sort of adornment on the wall.
Very cool.
But yeah, I thought these were. I may have a couple more of those. I'm not certain. And then also for wheels, I have here. Take a look here. One of our tubs. These are some of the Legos that I've been getting from Half Price, and specifically, like I have stuff here that's like foliage, stuff that's like stone, architectural elements, like castle wall protrudences, sort of thing. There's a bridge. Here's a little boat. There's some barrels and some chests. So it's just kind of dividing these things up, and then one of these I have, it should be some Wagon Wheels. So I have these as well, and we will show those. Now I also have somewhere where that out as well with the axles, so that you can actually hook them up to the undercarriage. So I need to find out where I put those, and in all the cleaning that we did, I did not come across those, so it limits the places where they can be. But anyway, so let's take a look here at the 50 and zoom in. Yeah. And usually with the gypsy wagons, they have a set of wheels that are larger, and then I think in the back, and then smaller in the front. So we should be able to accomplish.
I think I told you before when I first saw it, there was a one of the like living archaeology type shows that I was watching, where they were reenacting stuff and living during that period to experience it firsthand. One of them was talking about the people who made wagon wheels, and like all the knowledge and experience that went into making them. They used at least 3 different types of wood for specific reasons due to the qualities of that individual type of wood.
Yeah, it's Tater has been doing some woodworking in his garage, right? And he was talking about, I said something about one of the woods, and he's like, "Oh no, it's too soft," I think, or something like that. And I forget about that. But I think wood is wood, and yeah, that the hardness, the softness, the how it sands. So yeah, that I didn't think about that, but yeah, you could see that where some of the woods maybe they need it to be able to bend to do the piece, where some of it they need it to be more firm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what is that, a wheelwright, I suppose?
I think so, but I can't remember if that's what they called them in this episode or not.
Give me a quick gander to see if I can find.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Find these wagon wheels.
That was probably the wheelwright. There was also an episode where they were talking about barrels. I can't remember what that's called.
I hope it's a bug master.
Oh, Cooper.
Oh, okay.
Coop.
Yeah, because that's
Coop is
right.
a barrel maker. Cooper.
That's right, because I've had Cooper's crows from Jameson. I forget, and that's the term. That term is... Yeah, I could see there again, the ends being different than the slats. Or something like that. Alright, I feel like I'm honing in. I think I'm getting closer. Bear with me.
A little box of goodies there.
Yeah, this is stuff that I'd pulled out for project, and so this was me sorting through some of the interesting pieces in some of my other sets. So I'm disappointed we haven't gotten a chance to play any Borderlands. Sorry, on Friday I was tuckered and we hadn't heard from Tater. So when you messaged, I was already in bed.
I've been working on it. I've been working on getting as much what do I call it? Iridium to expand my inventory slots and things.
Oh, nice.
So that I won't have to make as many trips to like sell stuff off or have as much difficulty trying to make decisions on the fly between equipment. Hopefully.
Nice.
Although I got a problem right now in that my entire expanded inventory is now filled with different what's your special ability training book kind of things. I can't remember what they call them in the game, but I have a ton of different ones.
Oh,
they're all different. It's like, which one's better? Which one am I going to use?
Yeah, is that the piece that lets you... It's your own personal power-up sort of thing that's specific to your class?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones depending on which tree you're using and even which branch of which tree, potentially. Because of the different benefits of that particular item.
Yeah, I hear you.
Sweet.
All right, cool.
I think we should do, there's a particular instance.
I feel bad that we did not acknowledge the wood polishing joke from Tater. Apologies for that. We'll rectify that.
What? Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry, bud. Yeah. Polish that wood.
Just a tip, baby. Just a tip.
And I finally figured out how to get everything working again in the chat bots. So, anyways, I know I'm getting close. Let me see here. I'll let you guys in on the.
Bloodshot Stronghold. Did you do that one yet? It's part of the A Mighty Fine Rescue or something like that quest. We were trying to rescue Roland.
I don't know. I just usually just follow Tater and do as I'm told.
I think it's a good installation where it takes a while. I think it would be interesting for us to go through it.
I did get to play some Divinity Original Sin 2, and
is that what the that thing you posted was from?
yes. So there was one of those games, and I can't remember what it was because I played it on the Xbox and then stopped, but it just tickled me because I was trying to do some stuff with gear, so I had like removed all the gear off the players. So they're having a cutscene and everybody's standing around in their drawers and they keep talking about the taint. And it just tickled me because I have the sensibilities of a 12-year-old. And and so that's been tickling me for years. That was a taint tickle that had been going on for many, many years. And then this one, they called me the God Taint. And it's just like, that is amazing. And then in the same sentence, it talked about wiping. So it's like something. Yeah, wiping and God Taint in the same sentence. It's just like, okay, I'm taking a photo of that and sharing it to the Q Continuum. Because that's.
Do you like my response?
Yes, it was pretty elaborate. Feel free to paraphrase. It was kind of about the cyclic nature about taint tickling, I think.
God Taint wipe you, or the God Taint.
Hold on a second, you're breaking up. Nothing like when you're trying to tell a punchline. Alright, so this isn't. So many things partially started. What a surprise. We'll wait a second for Randy to rejoin us. Hello, hello.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Got dropped again.
Cool. Can hear you okay now? You can hear us?
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, you were starting to. It's like there's nothing like starting to tell a punchline of a joke and start to have audio issues. So yeah, when it was with the God Taint, and I said, I think my reply is, do you wipe the God Taint, or does the God Taint wipe you? And then you.
I said I usually just tickle it, tickle. And it tickled. Hashtag nature of the cyclical nature of the tickle taint.
The cyclical nature of the tickle taint. That sounds like like a series of unfortunate events or something.
Lemony Snicket.
Yeah.
There was something there too about like, if you stare into the void stares back. There's got to be a
When you stare into the
something
gaping
along those
maw.
lines as well.
When you stare into the gaping maw, it stares back at you. Well, I may have to call the ball on this one. I really, really envision finding these wagon wheels, but they may have to go on Mach 2 of the. I know that they're in a Ziploc bag. I think something along this size. thought I had a camera that was showing you what I was rummaging through, but I didn't. That was a fail on my part. You know how we do, Randy. We try. All right, well, I guess I had bought those. I bought separately, I think actually on eBay, and I had them just off the side with some of this other stuff for a long time. It never had its own proper home. And then once I started to give Lego stuff its proper home, I never was able to marry the two. Marriage. Alright. So, but that doesn't matter. We're going to move along anyway. And
Oh, is that the wheels on later?
yeah, true. Or just temporarily affix some of these other wheels. So, but what we are going to need is space in the chair. This is what's going to get tackled next. Is all of this. I have so many smalls. Yesterday, it's like we did a lot of work in organizing our space. And by and large, I'm pretty happy with that, but we've got a lot of smalls that things need to make sure that they have a home. But sometimes you got to live in the space for a little while till you can figure out what things need homes and what things did you give homes that don't really need it or can be relocated. Or all right, so we're going to need for this, none of this, but what we are going to need is some wood pieces. Where do we keep our wood, Randy? Wow, it was a perfect time for
Apparently,
nothing.
he's real good at polishing it.
Yeah, we don't know where Tater keeps it, but we know he's good with the polish. All right, so this is our wood box. All right. Alright, so let's pull out some pieces that we can use for this. Matchsticks can be very handy. These could be very handy. I think tongue depressors are going to be our roofing material. Some beads and some bits and some bolts. Here in a box of wood. We've got a little bit of everything. Okay. That's good for the time being. Oh. Yeah, the God tank. That was that delighted me so, Randy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm having a good time with that game. It is challenging though. It's like I'm not coming at the part of this game where it's just like, okay, well I can't go up. I can't go here. They're way too strong. Oops, I can't go over here. No, they're way too strong. So it's like, well, where am I supposed to go, game? So I finally found some areas where I can. All right, here's some.
What you bought before that would be
what we working
play
on
with
again?
other people. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, the dragon eggs. It's called Mount Your Friends, and you get bodies climbing up to get the highest level reached within a certain time. and it has that wonky sort of controls, like humans fall flat.
Right. Okay.
Potential for to ensue during gameplay.
What system did you say it was on? You were breaking up a little bit when you started to talk about it.
PC. It's on. They have it on Steam. It's
And you said it's Mount Your Friends?
$7 on Steam.
You said Mount Your Friends?
Yeah.
That's cool.
They have Mount Your Friends 3D. That's what it is. Mount Your Friends 3D. A hard man is good to climb. Tagline.
A hard man is good to climb. Well, all right. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. What?
Get Mount Your Friends and Mount Your Friends 3D. The full package bump. It's 25% off, so $9. Drop some coin on that right now.
Which item was that? Was that the item that you were talking about?
They have a bundle that's on sale that has Mount Your Friends and Mount Your Friends 3.
A Grundle bundle?
Both for $10. So it's only like $1 more for both.
Nice. The thing is to make this modular to where the roof comes off or not. I tend to like that element. But I think with this first one, we just might leave it affixed. Too much concern with it getting damaged and lost. All right. So I think we'll start with one in the middle and then work our way down from there. We'll use some Eileen tacky glue for that, for the roofs. But beforehand, what I'm going to want to do is add some more texture to this wood. So I'm going to get our wire brushes and add texture to one side of these. Maybe I can put a piece of tape on these. That way I know that I'm only doing one side. Let's see here. Yeah. So let's get some painter's tape. Oh. I'm just making it up as we go here, Randy. You know how we do. So we talked about Borderlands 2. And we talked about God Taint. Yeah, and so with D&D, we're trying to use Beyond. D&D Beyond, which is the official D&D website thingy. And even for free, you are able to do quite a bit of stuff. I think I bought the player's handbook at one time, which is a one-time purchase. So I think that allows me to create characters and have characters created in a campaign that have all the standard variants, if that makes sense. Is that yay or nay?
Do they, do they update when they have a new, do you automatically update of a new version thing, or?
I mean, yes.
Included with the.
Depends on what you mean by update. I mean, if they had errata in it, that would be updated. But like when they do updates through their printed materials. And that stuff is let me see here. So we were just put painter's tape on. basic fit. I think it will. And so then we'll... So, like, if they came out with, I'm trying to think of what some of the other books are. Whenever they came out with the new campaign set, they'll come out with some additional classes or some additional feats. And so if you want access to those, then you have to purchase those digital copy of those. That's kind of their their take on it.
Okay.
So I think that I ended up buying a digital version of the player's handbook. And so, because when we were doing it before, like, you were trying to recreate your character, but like you couldn't select the background because it only had like 4 of the backgrounds, and like it only had 3 of the races, and for each of the classes, it only had, I think, maybe a subset of classes, and then like at level 3 of a monk, you can choose which branch you're going to go down, and it only had 1 of the branches, and so by purchasing the one-time purchase of the handbook, it allowed us to be able to create characters of anything that's in the standard 5e edition. So that's pretty cool. And so what I was able to do was able to create some characters that were just basically templates for each of the characters. And this was something that when you and I had previously were working on it, Randy, which was a couple years ago actually, when I looked at it, you couldn't do, like, I couldn't create a character and then you take control over it, because I tried to do that. But you can do that now. So I can create base template characters for the people, and they can go in and tweak them. So that's what Tater was saying, that he was able to go in and he changed his variant from being like, I think, a hill dwarf to being a different type of dwarf. And he changed some of his proficiencies and some things like that. So that's pretty cool. And he could have changed his base stats, his, like, where strength was or where his dexterity was. And it's pretty cool because, they can all just do that stuff. And some of that stuff I may need to adjust it because we're doing some home rules here. But other than that, it should be a pretty good way. And then I believe with that, then I'll be able to access the characters too. So from my mobile device, I'll probably have a mobile device like my tablet at the table, and we'll be being able to pull up that information on. Yeah, you don't have to re-roll your stats. The way that I think that we're doing it is that you're using a standard array. So with that, you can reallocate those values. You'll have some pluses and minuses, or some pluses that are determined by you can certainly you can tweak those. And I think that if it should be the standard array, and with the standard array I think you get to add a 15 to 1, a 14 to 1, a 13, a 12. One's got to be a 10 and one's got to be an 8. So one of them you'll have no base modifier unless you have something from your race or your class. One of them you'll have a negative in, and then the others you'll have some pluses. So yeah, you can feel free to change that. Yeah. And again, you don't have to max min your character, but you can feel free to tweak it as you see fit. And then also at level 3, I think that you get to choose which branch of a fighter type that you want to be. So that's the big one for you to choose. I'd like that to be your choice rather than mine. Oh. And that was one thing, Randy. So DM Scotty, I think he has most of the digital material purchased for D&D Beyond. So when he sent me an invite to create a character, I could create all kinds of things. So there was a race type called Furbolg that I was not familiar with. That is kind of they're a large creature type, and so I created a Furbolg. And since I was most familiar with Monk, I didn't want to play a class that I really wasn't familiar with because I didn't want to bog things down. So I went ahead and did a Monk, but I did. They had a variation called the Way of the Drunken Monk. So it was similar to the one that I was doing, but it had some variations, and so it was fun to to do thematically. We had one moment where we had some holy water, and I had when we had got it, I on purpose had stuck it into my alcohol flask, and so when we had come to some undead, he let me take a mouthful of it and do a blowtorch thing with my torch and spray him with holy water alcohol. So that was fun.
Yes.
Good times. Good times. Good times. All right. So I'm looking for some of my brushes here that allow us to add some texture to our woods. Yeah, and you can max min your character. I mean, that's up to you. I just don't want you to feel like you're obligated to do it. It can be freeing to, and it's like, you know what? I know I should have it here, but this character's just really, got a strong charisma stat, or did you make them how you want them? And that's, again, what's nice is, like, you can also change out, like, what languages that you know. Your background, if you change your background, it might change what proficiencies are available to you. So you can tweak that as well. Yeah. You don't have to be a dwarf. You could go with something else, but with your character model, something humanoid would make sense. Because the way that I'm going to take it is that you're more like of that, you're a descendant of that, rather than maybe you're not necessarily a pure dwarf, but you'll have dwarven blood. Oh man. Well, I said some really nice things about you, Randy, and you'll just have to take it on good faith. And do not go back and listen to what I said, because that would be wrong. That'd be vain. Oh, I'm on the wrong camera angle here. Let's see if we can get this into the shot here. All right. So trying to put some texture onto. Cool. Mountain dwarf. Yep. Yep. Okay, you can do that as well. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think with the point buy, it just allows you to. You have so many, and you can allocate them however you want. You can feel free to do that too. Yeah, and then what you have proficiencies in, that's something I like, that you can customize that. And that's another thing where it's like, as we've been playing, people will have items that, like, it's like, okay, does that give you advantage on this? I don't know. And it'd be nice to just be able to pull up and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, here it is. Yeah, you do. You definitely have this. Or what is your armor class? Okay, your armor class is definitely this. So, and again, it'll give you guys access to more skill sets and things like that. And it pulls up really nice on your phone as well. The app, don't be fooled. The app only gives you access, I think, to information, not to characters and things like that. But logging in to a mobile browser, it almost looks like an app. So it's a little easier on the web-based browser. Like on your PC, it's easier to access that information, but because you can see more of it. I like the design better, but you can still get to all of that from your phone. So even when we're playing in person, you'll still have access to all of that stuff. All right, so let's give a little bit of the regular. Here we went with the grain a little bit. And this is just a little bit, so when washes come in here, that'll have a little something to play with. All right, so that's good. Now we're going to need to trim all of these. Yeah, okay, so 27 points. Yeah, which is probably the same thing as 15 plus 14 plus 13 plus 12 plus 10 plus 8. be my guess. All right, so what would be the best scissors I have for snipping this wood? And yeah, I don't know if I want to just use. No, these would be too small. I'll try these. I don't care that this will be a little bit irregular. We're all about irregular here, aren't we, Randy? I finished with Age of Ultron, and I enjoyed it. It was a good starting point for me. I'm going to try to figure out what I need to watch next. And it's kind of interesting because with the MCU, it's like a lot of things like, well, if you want to watch it in chronological order, the first one you would watch would be Captain America, the first Captain America movie. And then
Age of Ultron, you finished?
Yeah. And so looking at like the what movie I'm going to watch next, it makes me want to watch, watch them, and at least the Avenger movies. And I was like, well, do I want to watch any of the other ones? And so it's like, if you're watching the Guardian of the Galaxies, where do you put those? Where do you put, so then like, hold on a second. This is Whopper John. Captain Marvel, right? Because I think that occurred during the 80s. So if you wanted to watch them in chronological order, there's lists that help you to be able to do that. Or you could watch them, in the order that they were released. So I'm trying to figure out what to watch next. I think I'm going to watch Civil War next, though, which is technically a Captain America movie, but it feels like it was an Avenger movie because there's so many people in it. Because that's the one where they have to decide whether they go public or not. All right.
So you were, except for that, so far you were just planning on watching the Avengers series too, all the different ones that.
Yeah, but then it was like, but first off, it was like, well, I want to at least watch Civil War, which is technically a Captain America movie. So then it's just like, well, maybe I'll just watch. I might just watch them all. That's.
Yeah, but similar. Most of it doesn't get carry over.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
But know what's going on with the individual people with their own individual stories, how that plays out with how they're dealing with what's going on in the story.
Yeah, and then they had a lot of crossover in it as well. So it was like, the Thor movie was actually the Thor Hulk movie, and that had to do with them being out in space, which you explained where Hulk was during this time, and then also with Ragnarok. Whereas so like I agree that like the first Thor, not really that crucial. The second Thor, not really necessarily that crucial. Didn't seem like as far as the storyline, but I think like the third one is. Guardian of the Galaxy. Yeah, the second one.
Infinity Stone stuff, not really crucial, but nice to have.
I mean, yeah, if you're dealing with the Avengers arc, then it is kind of all, that stuff is
I guess
kind
it
of,
depends how much time you have.
yeah.
If you're trying to decide which ones.
Yeah, so you can see right off the bat, right, that it becomes an interesting mental experiment of like, well,
Yeah.
how do you are you focusing on the Avenger storyline? Is the Avenger storyline the Infinity Stone storyline? So anything that deals with one of the Infinity Stones and the origin of it. So if you're doing that, you definitely want to do, I think, the first Captain America, because that I think is the first Infinity Stone that we're um, brought aware of, right, or come in contact with, even if we don't know that it's an Infinity Stone at the time. The Tesseract, I think, is the one from that one. All right, let's see here.
Oh, did you watch the YouTube videos that I sent you?
I haven't seen the latest two that you sent me. The
Okay.
other
You
ones
saw
that
the
you sent me,
Transform, right?
the Transformer one, yeah, and it was funny because it was like that was a lot to unpack in that. They had a
A
lot going
lot
on there.
to unpack.
Yeah, there was a lot of commentary, and I'm not exactly sure what it was all saying, but I know that they were saying a lot. They were saying things about.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their stance was, or if they had a stance exactly, but they were saying there was a lot being said.
Yeah, they were saying things about the current state of police and race relations. They were talking about gender relations. They were talking about age relations. They were talking about a lot.
There's a lot.
There was a lot that they were talking about there.
All as Transformers.
All as Transformers, and done well. Like the animation was really good.
Yeah.
It's like people had some skills whoever did that. All right, so we have ourselves a makeshift roof. I would have liked to have some more overhang on this, but you just got what you got. Maybe I'll cheat it more to one side than the other, or maybe even give it a different. But for this one, this might be a little bit more plain.
Did we talk before about? I don't know if this is saying it's from CBS All Access, talking about Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, new Star Trek series to follow Captain Pike, Spock, and Number One.
I don't. That is not ringing any bells.
I haven't watched it yet. I just saw the.
How do we want to figure out our wheel scenario here?
One of the games I think I've been watching some Neebs Gaming play that. They played it like 10 years ago, or it's called Scrap Mechanic.
Yeah.
It looks like it'd be a lot of fun because it looks kind of janky, which kind of adds to it because you can build stuff. They just build stuff, and then they have course, and then they have each of them build a vehicle to try to course. That's one iteration. Things they can do with it. Smells like a fun game to mess with.
Yeah, I've seen that. Some of the people that I used to watch who would stream the building game, that EverQuest building game, Landmark, I'd seen them play that. And yeah, it's like you just have all kinds of physic parts and you can make all kinds of things. Like I'd seen them make, cars and catapults and Ferris wheels of death and, all kinds of craziness. So, yeah. All right, so I picked this piece.
They did like a haunted house, haunted house one for Halloween one. Or it's like a roller coaster, haunted house roller coaster kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. Yeah, I could see you doing some crazy stuff with that. Yeah, that's been one I've been tempted to pick up because it looked like it would be fun, but it definitely would be fun that you have somebody else and you're trying to, figure something out together. It's like Minecraft. It was like, I've watched people play Minecraft more than I think I've played Minecraft myself because it's so open ended that it was just like I didn't know exactly what I was wanting to do. So I can't figure out if I want to use this as like the front of the wagon, or if I want to use it as kind of like a back window. And also I need to figure out what I want to do to fix these wheels. I may just take a piece of foam, XPS foam, and I'm sure I have a couple pieces that I could just use as lumber that'll fit the width of this. I have one in the front, one in the back, and then just pin them in that way. Yeah, let's try that. Because if we do
I
the
like
foam,
the size of that wagon you're dragging.
thank you. I appreciate you. Noticing that. So, Randy, I was saying I'm not certain. Maybe you can give me some feedback here. I was thinking about using this as either a back window. And so if I do, I'll use this so it has like a little awning. So it'll look something like this, but it'll be raised. Right? Because you see that a lot, especially like a gypsy wagon. And I didn't need to flip this over. But
Yeah, what's the wagon?
It's kind of
like
a gypsy wagon.
So like going to be
Yeah.
intended to be something that's moving along, or something that's stationary that somebody's living in?
Yeah, more like it would be a living wagon.
Okay.
So, but then I could also use this kind of here as
That would work for that.
as the front, where you would be, I could use this to build where you'd be
Does it
sitting
have
and driving, and the door in.
Yeah. So sort of you got a seat built into it by the look of it.
Yeah, so if I do it like that, it's kind of like I could do that, or I could flip it around and use it as a window, a back window. So I think I'm inclined to use it as kind of this as a multi-purpose, and then I could use maybe even the matchsticks or something on the top there to cover up the Lego nature of it. All right, so I think we're going to go with that. We've textured up a roof. I think what I want to do here is I'm just going to get some foam, and I've got tubs of foam scraps here. Let me see here. I actually just organized a lot of my foam scraps. These are the assorted bits. So this looks something like this. So if we take something like this, and we find some stick pins. Something like this. Just essentially stick them in. And then fix those to the underside. This is a little lower profile, but maybe we'll use that. Split this down in half. Make this the width of that. Yeah, I think that's good. Good enough for government work. Randy, I think I lost you again, brother. Let me take a look and make sure that it's...
Here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you. Sorry. So, for today's mental health minute, I had written down here... Where do I have it? So the wagon you're dragging, that's our titular moment. Mental health minute was grab your linen and start your grinning. So just thinking about as things return to normal, that's just kind of the framework for us having a conversation. I don't really have any particular direction to go, but just curious what your thoughts are, Randy, as how do we mentally, health-wise, what should we be aware of as we're kind of returning back to normality, people returning back to work and the reducing of social distancing and some of that stuff?
It's maintaining the social distancing, and ideally everybody's wearing a mask. The problem is a lot of people are just not wearing masks and not maintaining social distance. It's still important to do that right now.
True. Yeah.
Make sure that we don't have a second strain of it going.
Yeah, because that's the thing I think that we need to be aware of, right? I think that the resurgence seems highly likely because everybody's so hungry to like get out and about, right? It's like some of these days, like that I've been out, it's like you see so many people walking, and it's like, you know, that we stopped somewhere and it was a line for like the ice cream shop, and there must have literally been 25 cars in line for the ice cream shop, Randy. It's just like like people are chomping at the bit.
Yeah, it's like long. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up a little bit.
So long it got hot, and then so it's raining all the time and forth. Doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah, that's true.
Hot. For ice cream too.
Yeah. Yeah, we were like, oh, let's stop and get some. No, everybody's got that idea. All right, here.
That mint Oreo, extra thick mint Oreo milkshake from Steak and Shake.
We've been getting some just the Kroger brand. I think it's Private Select. All this.
Yeah, it's good quality. From what I've seen of it.
Yeah, we've been getting some cookies and cream from them, and been enjoying that version of it quite a bit. All right, here. So I just did a rough measure of this against, and then using some X-Acto tools.
Hopefully. So they did say that sunshine are not the front of the coronavirus.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
At least mitigate it for now. But then it'll be during next winter, and that'll be telling. It's pretty much here until we find. I think it may be the new normal until they find a vaccine.
Interesting. Yeah. That'll be. I'd be curious to see. All right, here. Let me make a cut. Too deep, too fast.
But yeah, go about your business. Make sure you're maintaining safe practices.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things is
Hand
just
sanitizer and
yeah, yeah. This isn't over. I mean, this thing has still been a problem, and everybody's been hiding. So what's going to happen when we stop that? And I think that we've talked about the term hubris before. I think that we're all going to naturally have some hubris of thinking like, ain't no big deal. And it's like,
thinking like, well, I'm not going to get sick. Well, until you do, and you might not have any problems. You might be one of the people who doesn't have any symptoms even.
Yeah.
Yet,
or a carrier.
20 and kill. How many of them die because they're old or have something wrong with their immune system already? Something that system for whatever reason, or about taking care of one another.
Yeah, the precautions are not just about you. It's not about you getting it, or it could be about you giving it. All right, here. I'm gonna do a similar piece. Doesn't need to be exact. Some more of the same here. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that we're gonna have to be prepared for. I don't know what we're gonna be prepared for, but we're gonna be prepared for something.
What do you mean, for winter, or for when it comes back?
Or
a continued.
I don't know.
During the summer.
I don't think that they
worried about it getting worse during the summertime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that America and any country really, it does not seem to be prepared to go back down into lockdown. So if you come out
financially, no, it's team economy.
Yeah, so it's like, what happens? It's like, well, the people that are going to die are going to be people that are going to die.
I'm sure a lot of people are thinking of it like that anyway, thinking of it as like a natural pressure release valve.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep, and then so I guess just thinking that there's going to
be.
Well,
it happens to your loved ones.
Yeah, exactly. Until it becomes real to you. And it's then it's a flat Earth scenario for some people. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got these pieces here. I'm kind of operating with a makeshift desk here. All right. So
the good thing is, one of the most remarkable things about human ability to adapt. It makes is a lot, but we'll adapt. We always do. Things that may seem difficult will become the new normal, and that'll be okay.
It's an interesting thought.
Meaning,
you're
stressed out about it. Just due diligence and vigilance, but don't stress. Just
remember when we used to go to movie theaters?
And do the best you can. Yeah, what's going to be interesting that will change as you will. I mean, you expect to see because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah.
With things, are certain things not going to our lives? We're already. So, with now that home streaming is so big and so easy, big screen TVs have come down in price. High def, like all of this.
Yeah.
that less and less people are going to the movie theater, and I was still going some stuff, but it started going with around you munching on their popcorn and whatnot with their mouth open and loud as they can without a care of the person sitting next to them. It's so much nicer being able to sit at home and push the to the restroom or get a drink and not have somebody else popcorn.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I started to resume a love affair with going to the movies only once we were able to reserve our own seats, and that made a big difference. But even then, you know, it's like I said, even with that, it was like I got late to a movie and had to kick somebody out of my seats. It was like during the trailers. They'd already moved into their seats. And I was just like, oh, well, we saw that they had assigned seats, but it's like, people.
So many people are just understand how people just leave their trash for other people to have to deal with. All you got to do is pick up trash and carry it to the trash can. How difficult is that?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the stuff too, right, we talk about is that people are. I'm sorry I have to do this off camera because it generates a lot of dust.
Painting or painting, spray painting.
Now I'm brushing, putting some wood texture onto
again.
this.
Baby.
Yeah, I'm putting some wood texture onto these using the wire brush, but that's people talk about cutting the foam with wire and how you have to be careful about that, but they say that it's the dust that you really have to be careful of. Let's see if we can
particular.
You see there, that will make it look completely not like foam. And that's actually what we had done some similar work to.
I hope that
to this.
Gonna get some splinters on that ride.
All right, so I think. Oh, I didn't get the ends on this one. Let me get the ends real quick. All right. So, where did I put the brush? Yep. All right. Nice. So brushing, adding some texture.
Another YouTube channels. He has a lot of good videos. Some of the stuff is it's not that great of a hack stuff, but he makes it funny and entertaining. He loves a good pun.
Who is this?
Which pun rich?
Which
Household hacker?
Household hacker?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Of different household hacks.
Alright. I need to find some of the glue. I could just use regular glue, I guess.
Oh, Internet is the other one that's really good. It has a lot of really funny stuff. But they had some though that lately where it's been vehicles driving into businesses. Like a bus had its parking brake fail hill into a coffee shop. But that thing compared was a veterinary, a vet clinic anyway. And somebody drove in to the office, presumably accident. Uh, uh, but standing right there at the window, and she got like thrown across the room and buried underneath of a bookcase, and then like a fire started. It was crazy. It shows like because they have the CCTV footage, so you see what was happening before and the aftermath. Shocking.
Yeah.
The other ones where there was a hair salon, a big stag, a big deer with a big antler rack, street, and ran through her, and kind of this woman that was sitting there by the window. Wait a minute.
You're breaking up.
And then there's a cool cat that likes to. There's a cool cat that likes to sit in glasses. They have that stuff.
So the one that you were saying, it sounded like there was a woman sitting by a window, and there was a huge stag that came in to the business, busted through the window.
Yeah, like a big deer, big antlers.
That would scare the crap
He ran
out
through
of
the
you.
glass door. He was freaking out, like he didn't know what was going on. Yeah, because they're pretty and all. They can mess you up.
Oh yeah, we get
Not-
deer. We get deer in
Yeah.
the backyard,
With her. Yeah.
and it's just like they could if one of the ones with racks in particular wanted at you, you could have a bad day. You could have a bad day lined up for sure. Okay, so let me see here. We have that. We have that. We have that. Let's go ahead and glue on our front or our back, whichever it is that we're going to do. I think we're going to make it kind of be like this type of deal. And maybe make it flush with that. Alright, yeah. I like this. I like this. Yeah, it's funny, I haven't seen a lot of those in a long time, Randy. I know what you're talking about. Like, somebody, I've seen some of them where people intentionally drive through the front of a business to try to like rob it or something, or someone is all drugged out of their mind or something, or you see them where is somebody loses control during like a high speed pursuit sort of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the thing too with like over in England in particular, it's like they've got footage of everything because of the CCTV.
A lot of traffic cams everywhere.
Yeah. You know what? This has got some nipples on it that are going to prove problematic. But we'll see.
I made some pizza the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Sourdough discard. It's not like full-on sourdough pizza dough, but it uses the sourdough discard to sourdough flavor to the dough. It was a nice dough.
Nice.
And added some. I think the recipe called pizza dough seasoning, pizza dough flavor, which is added powder with. But I added some like garlic powder and onion powder and Italian blend seasoning. That just that in the dough smelled amazing. And then mushrooms and onions and a little garlic, and fried those up. Little pre-cooked them a little bit together, and then topped the pizza with that. Some provolone cheese. Tasty.
I have to put a hole in here because we've got a little lip here, right here. So trying to figure out where that lines up. Yeah, that sounds like some good stuff, brother. You're making me hungry now.
I want to fresh mozzarella, but I need to get some rennet to do that, I guess.
All right, that'll work.
I'm not sure how much rennet costs.
And then with this glue, just making sure I'm brushing it in. We've got that. Let's see, maybe we can go ahead and put some matchsticks or some wood planks. Let's see, another bag to hold this in. Luck would have it. We have something right here from cleaning up earlier. Debit transfer. All right. Yeah. Well, this may not have been the perfect bag for this.
Hello.
Hello again.
I'm back. Yeah.
I'm having problems with our connections today. If you feel that you are getting frustrated with it and you need to call the ball, you let me know. Otherwise, we'll continue to work through it. Alright. So let's take a quick gander here. Yep. So tomorrow I will actually be building the board for tomorrow's session. So hopefully that's what we do tomorrow. Yep. And so that'll be, and I'll probably maybe even start it tonight. If I do start it tonight, I'll be filming it. But I think I have a basic idea of where we're going. All right, so if I took this, I was thinking of maybe just, yeah. So let's do the same thing and just snip the ends here.
Well, there's another YouTube called, they have a whole bunch of like physics-based toys that are really cool.
Oh yeah.
Gadgets.
I was looking through some old photos and had saw at the local Center of Science and Industry. We were there, and they had a wall that was magnets, but it was like all these gears and pulleys and things, and so you could set them up on the wall in different configurations, and it was like, I could play with that for a long time. That one, and they had the one where it was a wheel that was spinning and you could put discs on it and they would just keep staying in place spinning. You would do really weird things where you get them to wobble, and I wanted to play with that thing for about an hour and a half.
I didn't see the new Kosai yet. But
Yeah, I like it and don't like it simultaneously.
Kosai.
I feel like the space is too open. But the old one was the same way. So it's not a criticism as old versus new, just... Alright.
The original opened in 1964. Mark.
Wow.
The first day, more than 5,000 guests for a youth admission. After 35 years in Memorial Hall, Kosai moved to its current location in downtown Columbus at 33 West Broad Street on 1999.
Alright, well, so...
Where's the last 20 years gone?
Well, I can tell you, but you won't like the answer. Alrighty. Well, if nothing else...
My mom actually did some volunteering there. Like, thing in relation to her work. Can't remember exactly how it was tied together. I know they had some events and stuff that they did there, and she volunteered for hosting some of those.
Yeah, because most of the people that work there are volunteers. A lot of teen volunteers. I almost did that. I had a friend who did do it for a lot of years.
Your college resume?
Yeah, it's good for things like that.
The when they would have like the Tesla coils on the Van de Graaff generators, and liquid nitrogen. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, agreed.
At the old one.
Yeah, then we were talking about the train, which you couldn't remember. But they had a
I don't remember a
super
train.
crazy train set. And it was like Ohio through the years.
As I remember, it was like a coal mine, which I thought was a...
Which they had. You ran through a fake elevator to get to it, where it's like the walls just moved. And you went into one side and the walls moved, and then you went out the other side, and to a kid, it made you feel like you were going down to the deep down.
I think I may have
And then I think you
kind
sat in
of blended.
Then I think you sat in a
together.
car, and then they had a movie as well about like coal mining or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And that was towards, I believe, the end.
Yeah. I think I may have blended together some aspects of Kosai and the Ohio Historical Society.
Oh, yeah.
Which is now called... They changed the name.
Oh, really?
It's called... Oh, yeah. Ohio History Connection. So,
Oh, you know what? Right. So I really need to let this.
although,
Let these pieces dry.
I mean, the Columbus Historical Society still, but or the Ohio Historical Society, rather.
All right. So while that's drying, there was a few other pieces that I was looking to do. We got a few minutes left, so that'll work, I think. We'll let all these pieces dry, and then I'll look to affix the wheels. Looks something like. Which doesn't look right, but we'll take it from there. I may mount these wheels a little bit lower. We'll see. We will see. And those wheels would be bigger. Something like that. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I think this one needs to come a little lower. We'll figure that out once those beams actually dry. And then we'll have to paint all this stuff up, so we'll paint that all up at the same time. But until then, so let's throw this stuff over to a place where it can dry relatively unmolested. Oh, and this is a good reminder. We'll be posting about on Instagram, but we are doing a giveaway of this hand-painted Batman that we had repainted here in the studio. Comes in the original packaging. All you have to do is be a follower on both Instagram and Twitch. You automatically be qualified. All right. So, need to clean up our mess here real quick. That was the least to the side. Your trash, your trash. I'm not talking to you, Randy. I'm not calling you trash. I'm not trying to give you any flashbacks to your childhood.
Sure, I'm used to it.
You're trash. You're trash. Just the way you made me. Alright. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to do was we'd had these. Move this stuff out of the way. We have these pillars, and I wanted to add some flocking to them. So if we have these, and we'll have to take a look at our flock cart. Let's see.
I just had a couple of details for the idea that I mentioned. You might add into.
Say that again. You sent me a message where from where?
No, I just have further to the D&D idea that I mentioned earlier that you might want to
Gotcha.
play.
if I heard you correctly,
don't want to give any spoilers.
Yeah, sound like you were saying that you conceptually further elaborated on the idea that you had that you'll be sharing at a private time and space. All right, so we have here our proprietal blend of flocking.
The 14 secret herbs and spices.
Yes, I hate the Colonel with his wee beady eyes and that smug look on his face. Alright. So, made a real mess here. And let's get this close so we'll lose these wheels. Alright, so we've got these things, we've got these vines on them. And I just think that I want to put some flocking on these guys. So what I need to do is get a place where I can put those plastic wise. Something like this work. I've got a paint tray here. Alright.
What's that?
I'm going to get a paint tray so that we can have a space to put these since they'll have a lot of glue on them. Alright. Create a little space for ourselves. This is harder than it seems. Okay.
Is it kind of normalized a bit? Or is it still a bit chaotic from the corona?
Say that again.
How is work going for Carrie? Is it normalized a bit from the corona, or is it still kind of wonky?
Still kind of wonky. They're doing most of the stuff still remotely for the time being, because there's no way to social distance the stuff that they do. So
yeah.
So yeah, she's I think, although I don't know, I think maybe till the end of the month, but maybe to the end of next month. I can't remember now. I've heard so many people say so many different things about what their situation is, and it changes so much that, you know, I haven't really needed to pay any attention because it just keeps getting pushed back any date that you've been given. Okay.
My mother had heard on the news that the governor of Ohio is going to wearing mask, but receive mother sick child. I don't know the age of the child. That had a problem wearing masks, so they not to make wearing masks.
No, from what I understood was that
Maybe it would have been
that he wanted to make wearing masks mandatory for people going back to work, but that he said that was too cruel of a rule, essentially, that it was asking a little bit too much from people, that they were asking people to do it, but to enforce it was what I saw.
I don't think you can at least say, make it mandatory. Say, guys, doing this, let's make this mandatory. We're not going to enforce extra, like you're I don't know.
Yeah, I think I got what you're saying. I think that I know that I saw a thing where all the bars that they had issued warnings to about social distancing issues. Most of them were downtown, short north.
Some places were, I think Thai Chai restaurant. I'd seen some Facebook posts from them, and that they were holding off on opening a bit longer while they saw how others were able to handle it, because there were some concerns over the regulations and stuff, and meeting them, not getting fined,
Yeah.
not meeting them appropriate.
Yep. Yeah. And I saw like one of the places that was open, they're like, we're gonna stay closed because you're not. We don't understand how to comply. It's just like you gave us 3 warnings and we can't do this. So it's going to be a challenge. And that's, I think, too, is like what it's trying to say with the mental health minute to some degree. Was that that, you know, as people get back, there's going to be a lot of stuff like that that's going to be really frustrating. Because it was something that Carrie mentioned, is like, you know, conversations that she's having with people and issues that, you know, that they're trying to resolve. It's like, first off, you got to just realize that everybody is just, everybody's a race car in the red, right? Everybody's running high. Tensions were running high right now. And so everybody's reactions is a little bit more than just whatever the current situation is that you're discussing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's a good thing, I guess. You gotta, and I've heard her say that more than once, and it's like, yeah, you have to, because you keep forgetting. It's like, yeah, not everybody's working off of normal right now. We're working off of something else. All right, so I'm gonna look to put some glue on some places here.
Everybody needs to remember to just
dip it. Yeah.
Just remember to take a breath, step back. It's not as bad as you think it is. Like, again, there's other places in the world that have it being actively bombed every day. So many, much worse. Just step back and take a breath and try to stay as chill as possible.
Yep. Agreed. All right. So I'm just using some Elmer's glue. I'll water it down just a little bit, maybe not, because I don't have a lot of access to water here.
Does that taste good?
Does what taste good? Elmer's glue?
I recollect quite. Does that taste as good as the paste does?
Oh, this does the, you know.
Been a while.
Yeah, I don't know. It's you know, your taste change as you become an adult. You know, I hated baked beans as a kid, but I like baked beans now, so I don't know. It's hard to say, but
so you might hate taste now, but love glue.
You could be, yeah. It could be, or it could just be like maybe it's a thing like the difference between crunchy and soft cheesy poofs. You know, might just be personal preference.
Don't knock it till you try it.
That's right.
Tater said the red crayons taste the best.
Red crayons. Bunch of window lickers is what you guys are. Alright, so I don't really know exactly what we're doing here. A little bit on there. A little bit around. And
and next month is the summer.
Next month is the summer solstice. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And then probably something like "goddamn." How's that possible?
Yeah.
All right.
I need to get out and do some hiking and camping at some point.
My proprietary blend is a little non-homogeneous. That's a sentence I never thought that I would ever say in my life. My proprietary blend is non-homogeneous. And it's causing me some issues. It's the dust that comes out of this. All right.
Depends on what you're using it for. Some things you wouldn't want a homogeneous blend. You want a little more variance.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing a large grass scape as a base, a large base or something, or even on a base, you don't want it to look all exactly the same.
Yeah. The problem was that I was wanting some variety in what I put on there, and I was using a little bit of pinch method, and it was not conducive because all I did was just put the same type of everything on it. So I was like, well, that wasn't really what I was looking for, but I hear what you're saying. As well, okay. So this I like it better.
You always add in the variants later too.
Mm-hmm.
Add in little additional pieces.
Yeah. So this one on the right here is more of indicative of what I would expect from our proprietary blend, and this one on the right here is a little bit.
Looks like the one on the left, like the vines died. So yeah. That's cool.
Yeah,
Dead
and
vines.
it works because it's this rocky. So it's not bad. It'll be all right. It might get a little upgrade later on, but yeah, this is working. This is the direction that we wish to go. So zoom it out a little bit.
The greenery has died back for the winter.
Yeah, and this is the it's like the grass. It's like an autumnal kind of grass. Anyway, so it fits with that dying.
Somebody made fun of me for this. They're like, "What are you saying? Like, that is not how you say that. That's the most stupidest thing." And like, the whole room was like laughing at me. I'm like,
because you said autumnal.
You're idiots. Go look at the dictionary. It's autumnal.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you people are simple, but you're simple. That's funny. So you're talking about language and wardrobe with Mr. Tumnus, right? So somebody that's like related to him, they're autumnals. Is that what you're trying to say? Huh? Because that's not the only thing that makes sense here, Mister.
Oh. Tater, what time are you free for
people?
Borderlands. Cool. I don't know. I'm gonna probably crash at some point, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So, got. Sun's getting low in the sky.
Hey, big guy. The sun's getting real low. So you can compare that to so I can match up the patterns. So yeah, it definitely gives you a little something here.
Looking nice. Looking good.
So you can see here, Randy, here on the left is one that where we added it compared to where without it. So definitely thinks it gives a little something. So we'll continue along those lines. We're at the end of our 2 hours, Randy. I'm going to continue and finish with these. Are you able to stay with this, or
Get some work done.
all right?
What time do you think you'll be available? Pew pew pew.
Yeah, I can. I'll make myself available after 8.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, brother.
All right, brother.
Well, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it. Everybody who hopped on, we had a lot of people hopped on various different times. We thank you for that. And as always, we leave you with the doctor's promise. Never cowardly, never cruel, never give up, never give in. And Randy, you have anything you want to say to the good people in parting?
Just
be good to yourselves.
as we go back into the world, realize it could be much, much worse than it is. Keep a calm head and considerate of others. Use common sense. Yeah,
kind of like our thing about, sometimes when somebody's riding on your bumper, we assume that it's because they're a jerk, and maybe that's true, but it could be that they just have to poop real bad. So
yeah.
Right now, everybody's got to poop real bad.
In the words of the great Tater, maybe they just have to poop real bad.
Yeah, so metaphorically, right now, everybody has to poop real bad. So just understand that. We always got to poop real bad. So.
And love yourselves and love one another.
Yep, sounds good. All right. Well, with that, we're going to take it to Funky Town. I'm just going to do some more of the same here, but I can do that off camera, and we will rock some of that funky music, some funky outro music. Bow, chicka, bow, bow, chicka, chicka, bow, chicka, bow, bow, chicka.